Welcome to Human. I am your host, Jessica McDonald, and this is a topic that I have thought about making an episode about for kind of a while because it's a topic I know far too well. Putting pressure on myself is a habit I have had for quite a while. I don't know kind of when it started or why it originated. I've dove in a little bit into maybe why I am the way I am with my therapist a little bit. But overall, today we're going to be talking about self-pressure and kind of the bad things about it and the good things about it. And I do want to disclaim that, it's important to, be motivated and push yourself to, try new things and, also stay on top of your deadlines and make sure you get things done in time and really doing the things you want to do to be, a good version of yourself. That's really important, but it can get to a point where it goes overboard. And this is where I fall. I am someone who consistently puts so much pressure on myself to the point where it's unhealthy in some ways, I think, and just definitely something that just stresses me out way too much and something that I need to work on. And so I wanted to make this episode all about the different areas of self-pressure that I find I have as a part of my life. I don't know if that sentence made sense, but self-pressure is something that I have to live with every day and have a relationship with and learn how to deal with it and learn how to live with it and not, stress myself out all the time over getting things done. And so something that's important to disclaim is that I am an organizer, a planner. I love to know what's happening in the future. I love to know what's coming up. I love calendars. I love to-do lists. And so that can lead to putting so much pressure on myself to have things done right away, to always have things done immediately, to be already, on the ball, podcast episodes are ready to be out for the next month. It's the thing with self-pressure with me is I find that there's always more I could be doing. There's always more I could be getting done. And it makes me start to obsess over this mindset of this needs to get done rather than let's enjoy the process of it. Let's enjoy being in the moment of it. Let's not just consistently stare at our to-do list and be like, there's so many things to do, but be like, I put these things on my to-do list because I want to do them, because they matter to me. So I have had processes that go through my brain of I have to get these things done. So it's more about crossing something off my list than it is about actually enjoying the process of it, which is a really negative association, I think, honestly, because life is about living in where you are right now and not constantly planning for the future or obsessing over the past or thinking about, the next thing. And that's this self-pressure definitely makes me obsess over what's next, what needs to get done next. I'm behind. I this feeling of being behind. That is just an arbitrary concept that we've made up in our brains. So to start off about this topic, I have a list of different things I kind of want to dive into surrounding self-pressure, but this is honestly something I've talked about a lot with my therapist. It's kind of the reoccurring topic that comes up. I've chatted with her about a range of topics between relationships, friendships, boys, family dynamics, where I want to go in the future, my dreams, my goals, my values, my boundaries, all of these things, so many different topics, but self-pressure really is one that comes up quite a lot. And so her and I have worked together in a lot of different ways to kind of combat this just intense pressure and feeling and obsession I start to put on myself. So the most recent thing she told me to do, I love when my therapist gives me homework. Is that so cheesy? I don't know. But so she gave me this homework because I had been, and I have been seeing her since, I don't even know since when, since at some point during the beginning of quarantine. I would guess April or May, I think. And it's December right now. It's actually the last day of 2020 as I'm sitting here filming this. And so it's been quite a while of working with her. But one of my most recent sessions just a couple weeks ago, we're still talking about self-pressure because it's still a part of me, and that's okay. We all have our things. And so it's just important to find your relationship with it. So what she told me to do was write down a list of all the expectations I'm putting on myself. So that's everything surrounding a morning routine, a nighttime routine, what I get done during the day, anything in between that. Write down a list of expectations and then kind of look back on them, reflect upon them, and kind of think about what this actually means. Is it realistic? Is it positive for my life? All that. This was such a funny exercise, and I fucking loved coming back to my therapy session after and being like, all right, oh, I was about to say her name. Sorry, can't say her name. Being like, oh my God, okay, so let me read this insanity to you. I wrote down 15 different expectations I put on myself. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, just that many expectations is crazy. You're never gonna, you're gonna get so busy during your day trying to fulfill all these things that I think I should be doing rather than just living my life. So these range from different things like what time I should go to sleep, what time I should wake up, exercising every day, journaling, gratitude, meditating every day, working for 8 hours every day, which is I was surrounded by my family who was all working 8-hour days. So I felt like I should be too, but which was stupid. A big one is always being productive. We're going to go back to this productivity thing because that's where my self-pressure comes from, is this belief that I am worthy or I am doing something right if I'm being productive, and if I'm not being productive then something's wrong and I am not doing something right, I guess. I don't know. So then also reading every day, podcast stuff, cleaning my room all the time, healthy eating, whatever. A list of these things. Then it was so funny reading all of these things and then writing back to it, responding to it, because I did this fully for myself. So when I was sitting telling it to my therapist, it was funny because I was you can tell by the way I'm speaking, I'm talking to myself, being what did I even say? I was one of the things I was meditate every day. And I literally wrote in capital letters, boring. Yes, I want it for clarity, but I have clarity on my life. I have clarity on the things I like to do and want to do and pursue and my dreams and that shit. And I'm and not every type of meditation comes in the form of sitting and setting a timer for 10 minutes, exactly 10 minutes, and breathing deeply in silence. That doesn't work for everybody. All these expectations don't work for everyone. So really sitting down, looking at all these expectations I was putting on myself and then writing out and just kind of laughing at it. And I think it's important to laugh in life, and just laughing at these and being this is so absurd, Jessica. What are you doing? This is what? You can't accomplish all of this in a day, and that's okay. So ease up on yourself, Jessica. It's basically what I'm saying here. So I really recommend doing that if you're kind of someone who feels like they put a lot of pressure on themselves. So another thought about self-pressure is, I heard this from my friend Dana. She said, I definitely feel I have an all or nothing mentality. And she was it's not all or nothing. It's all or something. I would put things on my to-do list and be if I don't get them all done, today was a waste. And it's no, it's not. We shouldn't always feel we have to do absolutely everything or nothing at all. And that goes back to this advice my therapist gave me about to-do lists. And yeah, it's good to write down all the things I need to get done and have that super long list. But when I set out for each day what I'm going to do, to only put 3 things on, because if I look at that huge to-do list, there's no way I'm going to achieve 10, 15 things on the list in a day. So my brain will go, we're not going to do any of it because we're not going to get all of it done. That is so ridiculous. What? What? So there's that. And another thing about how I make so many to-do lists too is that one of my friends, my other friend Dana, my old roommate Dana, said to me, she was Jess, put your to-do lists away and just live your life. You're not even living life with obsessing over just these arbitrary things. And I had this realization in the bath the other day where I was the things that I feel I need to do or I should be doing, I literally decided if that was a need or a should. I control my life. I get to decide what I do and what I don't do. So if I feel I need to be doing something, I created that need and I can change that need. It doesn't have to be a need. It could be, oh, I'm going to do that thing when I feel doing it. Do you see? I think we just need to question our values, or not question our values, but question our belief system and question what the voices we say in our say in our heads all the time and what they say, and be is that actually real? And another great piece of advice I got that was this is what Dana said as well, the writing group Creativity, Dana Smith. She was if we were to hang out with someone who spoke to us the way we speak to ourselves in our heads, we would be get the hell out of here. You're a bitch. Goodbye. So if we would never speak to someone else like that, and if we would never actually hang out with someone if they talk to us like that, then why do we talk to ourselves like that? That's so absurd. And I think just hearing it be put in that fashion really made me realize that. So lots to uncover there. I feel like I'm like blurting out all of these like big kind of heavy things that I have to mull over, and I mull over quite often in like a 15-minute podcast. So feel free to just tune out at any point if this is stressing you out, which takes me to my next point is self-help people stress me the fuck out. Don't get me wrong. Love a good self-help book. Love a Rachel Hollis. Love just like inspirational stuff. That's like how I came to where I am today, is because like a year, like at the end of grade 12, I read Rachel Hollis's Girl Stop Apologizing book, and it totally changed my life, and I like started focusing on my dreams and what I want to pursue. But sometimes when I like listen to podcasts of people who are like kind of in the self-help category of like, in 2021, like, this is my year to like work out every day and eat so healthy, and I'm like, you're stressing me the fuck out, because the thing is, I will put that much pressure on myself, so then when I hear someone external saying that, putting that pressure on me, then it's like a triple, quadruple, insane whammy of just like so much self-pressure. I just spiral. And so it's really important for me to also recognize when I want a dose of self-help, like self-love or like inspirational speaker kind of vibe, when I want that, to get it, but to know to like mute it on my feed or unfollow these people or don't listen to it or don't pay attention to it. Because for me, having grace with myself and telling myself it's okay to not always be doing work, it's okay to not be eating perfectly or working out all the time, is so important. And hearing it, like, society is what taught us that you are valuable when you're being productive. They I don't know who they is, but like society is what promotes burnout and overworking yourself and constantly having to produce things. And so it's so important to quiet that down externally when it's unnecessarily being put on us all the time, because if we don't like filter what we see all the time, then we're just going to keep absorbing it, and this negative spiral of me putting pressure on myself is just going to keep going and going and going and going. So watch what's on your feed, I feel like saying. We are human beings. We are not human doings. We don't always need to be doing. It's important for us to just be and just sit and just like enjoy life and do the things that make us so happy. And like, I start to obsess over podcast stuff, but like I fucking love the process of sitting here talking right now and editing it over after and creating fun Instagram content. I love that. So when I put it on my to-do list as a you must get this done kind of thing, it takes away the fun. And so I need to remind myself that it's okay to just be, and it's okay to just not do stuff, to have days where I don't do anything that's quote unquote productive. Like, what even is productivity? And I think that's an important thing to examine as well, but that's a whole other spiel that we're not going into today. Yeah, and so then the last kind of self-pressure thing I want to talk about is just putting pressure on situations for how they're going to unfold. And this is definitely something I do a lot. I think I'm most guilty of doing it in terms of guys and relationships and assuming how a relationship is going to take course, but that's not even true. Like, it's just that, because I did that with Vancouver. Like, I moved there thinking I had this whole expectation in my head of how it was going to unfold and like putting pressure on it to be that. And I learned so much because it wasn't what I assumed it was going to be. And I'm going to learn a lot because I'm really trying not to put a lot of expectations on what's going to happen with different guys or friendships or jobs or podcasting or life, and letting life take its course. Because I've said this before, I'll say it again. I feel like a broken record, but I think this shit is so important that like whatever life creates for us is so much fucking cooler than what is in our head or what we could create in our head. So why do we get, like, we love stories, like as humans, like I'm such a storyteller and I love to talk and I love to like make up these scenarios in my head. Like, it definitely brings me joy. However, it can be taken too far. Yeah, so the biggest thing I've really learned this year is, one, it's important to talk about this stuff. It's important to, have support from people. My friends, my family, my therapist are such a good support. I have incredible friends who will say to me, like, when I just openly vocalize this stuff about when I'm being really, really hard on myself for, not being quote unquote productive, I have so many like best friends of mine come to mind, and I'm so fucking grateful for them, who literally will say, Jess, it's okay. Stop doing everything. Stop doing things. Lay in your bed, watch Netflix, and stop feeling guilty about it. Smoke weed. Who cares? Why are you putting guilt on yourself for smoking weed? Like, it helps you relax. You enjoy it. And like, one of my friends was like, if you are always getting your shit done and like it's not negatively affecting your relationship with yourself, with your friends, with your family, with the things close to you, like what's wrong with smoking weed to relax? And I need to have a whole other podcast episode about that, but that is not for a right now thing. But so yeah, this year I've learned more than ever that it's so important for me to have grace with myself, to ease up on the self-pressure, to know that it's okay, it's a work in progress, and it's just amazing to hear it come from other people too sometimes. And it's important for me to open up to other people about how hard this is for me, because then they can be supportive for me and be there for me. And knowing that I make the rules for my life is a game changer. And remember that you do too for your life. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you got something out of this. Self-pressure is a topic that, is constantly, not constantly, but very often on my mind, and something I feel very passionate about because I struggle with it so often. And so I really hope this could bring something helpful to you in your life. And also, when people make recommendations, you don't need to fucking take them all. Don't take them all. Me sitting here, like, if I ever recommend stuff, if it doesn't work for you, throw it out the goddamn window and tell me to shut up or turn it off, because we don't need to, feel like we need to like take every suggestion someone says. We don't need to do all the things all the time, okay? Anyway, I hope you're having an incredible day. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you on Tuesday for another episode. Please follow me on Instagram at Jessica J. McDonald. Follow Human to Human Pod on Instagram as well. Subscribe. Did that say subscribe? I think I said that weirdly. But anyway, subscribe, leave a review, and